Hello food fans, going to have some Hormel Compleats. We've had this before. We're going to add some ingredients to the Hormel Compleats, which is only 9 ounces, so that's not a very big meal. I will add something to it to give it a little bit more body and make it go a little bit further. You can actually probably feed a couple of people if you add some macaroni, elbow macaroni here. And I'll probably put in about 5 or 6 ounces of macaroni to that 9 ounces of meal there. Plus we're going to have a coleslaw and a secret dessert, and we will have a beverage. So let's get started. And the water is boiling for sure, and I'm going to put in about make it 7 ounces. We'll put in 7 ounces to add to the 9 ounces that comes in the Hormel Complete. And how do I know it's 7 ounces? That just looks like about 7 ounces, so we'll use that with the 9 ounces of Hormel. And we will have some other meal items with these two, the elbow macaroni and the Hormel beef and vegetables, and it's going to be good. So I'll let this cook for about probably 5 minutes in boiling water, turn it off, let it cool a little bit, then I'll add the Hormel after I take the Hormel Compleats out of the microwave. The macaroni has cooked to a boil, and I've drained the water. Let it cook for about 5 minutes. I'm going to add the Hormel Compleats to it, and I will stir that up, and we will get ready to eat our delicious meal. Before I dig in, I will add one secret ingredient, and that is this tomato. I won't add the whole tomato. I'll just add a few chunks of the tomato. Put that in with the hot macaroni and the Hormel pot roast, the beef and vegetables, and that'll be enough. And the Hormel does have, as we might expect, a lot of sodium, not as much as some prepared dishes, but we've got about 43% of the recommended daily adult allowance of sodium, so we're getting more than enough sodium. And the fragrance is quite good. Let me stir this up. And I've got my coleslaw here. Coleslaw costs about $4 for a pound. Is it a pound, or is it 1 pound serving? And that is from the deli section at Walmart. And quite often they'll have a sale on coleslaw. Other times I make my own salad. Let me get some beef here and some macaroni and some tomato all together. Make sure it's not too hot. It is very, very tasty. Hormel makes a lot of compleats, different varieties. They have turkey and other types of meat, and just different recipes. You might want to try some. I don't get paid to say that about Hormel or any other product. I don't have sponsors at this time. I'm not seeking sponsors. I have turned down many offers here at the YouTube channel for sponsors. But I don't have that, and right now I don't have the members who get special treatment or anything like that. This is kind of in the way here. Let me do it like this, lift it, and there's the coleslaw available for the little spoon. And coleslaw should be, I think, on everyone's daily diet if you can possibly get it. It's tasty and it has a lot of healthful benefits according to articles I have read online. I am not a doctor. And while I'm eating the main course, we shall talk about show business. I've had a lot of different jobs in the world of entertainment, and I've never been a big famous person like so many others, but I've done a little bit of everything. I've done singing on stage, I've been an MC, I've been a radio announcer, I've been a movie extra, I've been an actor, I've been a writer, I've been a person who owns a recording label. I put out records, I produce my own records. And with all that in mind, what I'll do is just tell you what worked for me and might work for you. It might not. This is Barq's root beer. This works for me. Put that over here. It's BARQ. Now let's have some of the good stuff. When I left home at age 17, I had zero talent. I could sing, but I could not play any musical instrument. Came to Los Angeles in 1956. First actual, real, honest to goodness show business job that I had was on Make Believe Ballroom. That was in Al Jarvis. Al Jarvis is worth looking up. A-L and then capital J-A-R-V-I-S. Al Jarvis discovered a young lady who had a lot of talent, and he helped her get onto TV, and she passed away recently at age 99 as Betty White. But Al Jarvis was a famous DJ in Los Angeles. He fought against the record companies who wanted DJs not to play records. They thought if people could hear the records on the radio, they wouldn't buy them. Showing that the record companies were wrong. Al Jarvis won his courtroom battles, and in doing so he got the nickname of the world's first DJ, or the country's first DJ. He was the MC of Make Believe Ballroom. I appeared on Make Believe Ballroom. I auditioned for Al Jarvis. Got on the show, did my 4 or 5 minute stand-up comedy routine. Proved myself I could do show business. I would always be nervous in front of a camera, but I would do it. I would go out nervous. Okay, so I'm nervous, so what? Let's go. I never took any alcoholic beverages or narcotics of any kind to calm myself down so I could get up on stage. I went up nervous. It was good. That's the way you want to do it. Embrace the nervousness. That's the energy you'll want in your performance. So I was either 17 or 18 when I went on the Al Jarvis show. I worked in a warehouse. I didn't get any great fame for being on the show. I just did a small bit of entertaining on an actual big TV stage. That was a great experience for me at that young age. Worked at the warehouses in Los Angeles until 1960. Didn't do anything else show business really. Well, I started up a record company, but I didn't put out any records right away. I was learning the business end of the record company. The Hormel food is quite delicious. Went into the Army age 19 and had 6 months active duty, 5.5 years reserve. In 1960 I moved to New York City. Thought I'd try my luck with the entertainment world there. I worked in a warehouse again, Talon Zipper Company. And I never did any entertaining to speak of in New York City. I did keep practicing piano. I stayed at a hotel where they had a piano room, and I would go and practice, and I taught myself how to play piano, so I was still learning. I dropped a elbow macaroni. Quite good. I left New York City, moved to Las Vegas. Each time I moved to these places, when I went to Los Angeles, when I went to New York City, when I went to Las Vegas, I did not know anyone in those cities. I wasn't going to get together with family members or partners or anything. It was just, I was going to face it and learn something and try to get into show business. Las Vegas, I met a guy named Bill Hess. He worked at the warehouse where I worked. And he had a nighttime radio show, KENO radio in Las Vegas. He worked the warehouse during the day, and he worked the radio at night. I started writing comedy material for him. Time for more root beer. 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 Still nice and warm here in the Nashville area. This is November, about the 13th, I think. Maybe the 12th of 2023. Going back to Bill Hess at the warehouse where we both worked. Started writing comedy material for him. He got laryngitis and was unable to speak for 3 days. He asked me to do his radio show for him. That's how I got into radio. To be a radio announcer back then, 1962, my first night on radio was February 27th, 1962. It was Liz Taylor's 30th birthday. Couldn't believe she was that old. Little chunks of beef are actually not so little, they're almost bite-sized. Got my own radio show, doing weekend radio at different radio stations, and working at the warehouse during the week. That gave me the money I needed to get by and run a record company, and gradually become a better piano player. I played piano chords. If you want to be like Jerry Lee Lewis, Fats Domino, Little Richard, play chords on piano. It's not that hard to learn. I taught myself. Some of my records did all right. 1966, got a lot of airplay with a song called Mona Lisa. The song Mona Lisa is written by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans. It won an Academy Award. The versions most people had heard were slow ballad renditions of the beautiful song. I did a rockabilly version of it, but I was not the first. Moon Mullican was the first person to do a rockabilly version of Mona Lisa. Next was Carl Mann, then Conway Twitty, then me. Jerry Lee Lewis did a good version of Mona Lisa also on piano. I did get to interview Jerry Lee Lewis on radio. Also interviewed Frank Fontaine. Most people wouldn't know who Frank Fontaine is today, but he played a character called, I think, Mr. Donaghy. Maybe he was talking to an invisible friend, Mr. Donaghy. But Frank Fontaine came on my radio show 1963. Frank Fontaine did stand-up comedy, and he was a singer. Find one of his videos at YouTube. You see he had a fine singing voice. Or if you wanted comedy, just search for Frank Fontaine comedy. I did get to meet him And I interviewed him at Sproul Homes, where I had a show, remote broadcasting on KVEG radio. And I still was working in a warehouse. 5 days a week worked in a warehouse. Weekends I did all my show business. Attempts at either humor or music. And I was getting to know more and more people, and pretty soon I found myself working as a movie extra. I worked in shows like Vegas with Robert Urich. I worked show Melvin and Howard with Mary Steenburgen. After I started working as a movie extra, I figured it's about time I should be going back to Los Angeles. It was 1980. And I moved to Los Angeles again. Had a nice apartment in Hollywood. Cost $350 a month. I thought that was outrageous. It was so high. Now, that same apartment would probably cost $2,500 a month. This is quite delicious. I highly recommend it. The Hormel meals, the compleats, they're small in my estimation, 9 ounces. Hungry Man meals are 16 ounces. I worked as a movie extra. Counting all the jobs, all the gigs, all the acting that I did in front of a camera, whether I was acting, playing piano, dancing, singing, working as an extra, which was what I did most of the time. All of that work that I did in front of a camera came up to 812 different productions that I've been in so far. That does not count any of my radio performances. It doesn't count any of the live shows I did where I sang and played piano. Have some more of this macaroni. So I worked almost 1,000 productions. That doesn't mean I worked just 812 days. A lot of the productions I was in turned out to be more than one day. Quite often the extra job might be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I worked 17 days on Under the Rainbow. I was a stand-in on Under the Rainbow. I stood in for Pat McCormick. Peter Isaacson. Stood in one scene for Chevy Chase. They dressed me up as Chevy Chase from the neck down. They wanted to show me in a scene. They wanted to show Chevy Chase in a scene, but he had already been sent home. They thought they were through with him for the day, but then they realized they needed one more scene, so they dressed me up as Chevy Chase and walked through. But 17 days is the most I worked on any movie. Dear John, I worked 90 episodes plus the pilot. Gong Show, I worked 13 episodes plus the pilot. Union pay was very good. The Screen Actors Guild, AFTRA, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, that's the union you want to get into if you're going to be an entertainer in the United States. I think I've done about 1,300 YouTube videos. I'll probably put more of the old episodes. I'll probably put more of the old episodes up as time goes by. I love my fans. It's good to know that there are so many wonderful people out there who enjoy being entertained. My health seems to be good with the exception of arthritis and some aches in the knees. But life is fun. And I've been fortunate to meet so many wonderful entertainers, show business people. People that I have watched and enjoyed their entertaining, and then I got to meet them. I met and talked with Rock Hudson, Lana Turner, and others. I've watched shows at the Hollywood Bowl, and in person I've seen Bob Hope, Danny Thomas, Jerry Lewis, Liberace, Jimmy Durante, Jim Backus, and others, and that was one show. Saw all those people on one show. Funniest person I've ever been around was Jonathan Winters. Got to be with him on 3 different productions. He was a very funny person and a very nice person. Robert Urich on Vegas was always nice to be around. Ray Combs C-O-M-B-S, Ray, R-A-Y-C-O-M-B-S. Ray did the warm-up comedy for our show, Dear John. I was on Dear John for 4 seasons. Ray Combs was our warm-up comic, and he was superb. I highly recommend show business to anyone. You will meet the nicest nice people, and you'll meet the toughest tough people, silliest silly people. I'm in there somewhere. But don't expect to be noticed or written. You don't expect people to come up and say, "Oh, I want to write a newspaper story about you." First, we'll finish the Hormel Compleats and macaroni. A little bit later, but right now it is time for the secret dessert, which is blueberry pie. Let's open this in. This comes from Walmart. I'm not sure if they have the same brand or same type of pie. This is blueberry pie, individual serving, 74 cents at Walmart. And we'll take a look at it. Looks like a pretty good meal. I'm not sure if we're still getting video, but the video camera made a beep there for some reason. Blueberry pie is good. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoyed hearing your stories. If you think you're willing to try whatever it takes to become an entertainer, I urge you to do so. You might want to try singing, acting, dancing, writing, producing, whatever you can do in show business. You will have more fun doing show business work than any other type of work that there is. Thank you for watching.